which land? Because I explained right in the beginning that if you go to Alexandra, you'll find houses on pavements. Those are illegal. You'll find 20 shacks in one yard. And then you'll find huge rats that look like cats. At night, if you don't know a rat, you see the rat and you think it's a cat. You change your mind once you see the tail and the face. And those rats are eating children. And it's for that reason that people must go and look for better places for themselves to stay. Because they have been failed by this society that you say, Mr. Du Plessis, has a moral obligation to its people. This society has never exercised its moral obligation to its people. Never. It has never ever exercised its moral obligation to black people, poor black people, even so-called black middle class. It doesn't satisfy its moral obligation to black middle class. Black middle class think they are wonderful because they are sitting in jobs. But those jobs are under threat most of the time. They don't even get promotions. White people walk into a job, after 3 months they are bosses. Black people must sit there for 5 years. So I don't know why we even talk about class division. Somebody earlier asked me about classes. There's no classes amongst black people. We are all poor. We are all one paycheck away from being in Alexandra. So I reject the notion that the EFF drove land occupation. I reject the notion that, and when I say drove, I mean initiated it. It's our policy, yes. It's our program, yes. We agree to that. But I reject that we originated it. We did not. I reject the notion that we originated it for frivolous reasons. We did not. The people occupy land because they need it. They are in desperate need of shelter. They are even willing to build their own houses, Mr. Du Plessis, like they did in in Extension 5 in Silvertown, in Ward 109, Alexandra, the area under discussion. They built those houses themselves. The main reason is that they will tell you themselves, they're sitting with C forms from 1996. They said to government, okay, it's clear you can't give us houses and you feel that we are pushing you too much. That's okay. Give us land with service stands, which is what EFF is saying. If we were governing, we would identify land, give people service stands, or even rebuild the old flats that are no longer habitable, right? Because we are living in a modern society. People can't get houses anymore. You have to be practical and build flats, for instance, right? But people are saying, okay, when there's land, we can build it ourselves. They've demonstrated it. And what did the state do? They came and demolished it one Friday morning at 8 o'clock on the 31st of May. Ambushed poor black people. So if that is the moral obligation you're talking about of the red ants and those rogue people in the city of Joburg who sourced the red ants, and the SAPS and JMPD officers, those rogue officers who participated in that against a resolution of council, if that is the moral obligation you're talking about, then I don't want to be part of it.
Thank you. I had to steer very, very hard against the tide of political talk there, and does not answer my question. So I'll put it simpler now. If someone came before this commission tomorrow, someone who was evicted in Alex, and said, I got evicted from my house, I occupied there, I thought it was perfectly fine to do it, because I heard Julius Malema say I must occupy it, and I suddenly got thrown out of my house, beaten by the people who evicted me, my possessions were crushed, lost my ID book, and they wanted answers from the EFF. Why did they not warn me? That's the question. I don't want to talk about the other issues. I want to talk about specifically now the slew of land occupation and evictions that have been happening very recently in Alexandra, and the specific statements made by the EFF, because we've received specific allegations about that involved. That's all. If someone came today and asked, the EFF was there when they told me to occupy the land, where were they when it was taken from me? What would the EFF say to that?
And a political leader of the ANC, which was governing when they started the project. I just wanted to correct that it was not 1.7 billion that was budgeted, it was 1.7 billion.
Oh yes,
And of course, the traces of that money, you would help us a lot to follow, because even the people of Alexandra don't know what has happened with that money. They don't know what has happened with Alexandra renewal project itself. The last thing is that I'm aware that the city of Joburg has instituted a forensic audit investigation into the Alexandra renewal project. And therefore, it would be best to also get from them the extent of their forensic investigation. The only thing that I'm aware of as well is that there's been frustration on the part of the municipality, and they've even requested us to find a way of assisting them to get cooperation from the National Prosecutions Authority, because some of their forensic investigations are advanced and have a lot of evidence and conclusions. The only thing they need is prosecution, and it looks like the NPA are dragging their feet or somehow believed to be reluctant to prosecute. Lastly is that there are people implicated, of course, in the looting of the Alexandra renewal project, but that investigation by the city will give you the results, and a proper criminal procedure must be followed in order to bring people before the courts, because the investigations have already been done. That is the only thing that we have to say on the Alexandra renewal project. The people who led the project must account for what has happened to the money and why the project has not yielded any results, tangible results for the citizens of Alexandra, who are the intended beneficiaries.
thanks. It's so interesting that you also mentioned that fraud cases were opened with the South African Police Service, Hawks. Who were the complainants on these cases? Is it the economic freedom fighters? In other?
I was just, sorry. Yes, I was just drawing a parallel between certain key projects that have been done where money has disappeared and there's no tangible outcome. The one particular case I'm referring to is the one into the artificial intelligence project under David Makura and Barbara Creasy, which the EFF opened with the Hawks, and we have the case number. We're happy to give you the details. And I also wanted to assure you that we will give you the database that you requested for the 163 houses.
Well, yes, I would appreciate the inclusion of those case numbers so that we can follow up on them for ourselves. And thank you so much. That concludes questions from my side.
Thank you, Mr. Michel, for your submission. The main reason that the EFF was invited here today, because the former MEC for Human Settlements, I believe it was, made an allegation during his testimony before this commission that the EFF, through certain statements, was in part to blame for the rising, as he called them, land invasions in Alexandra, increased occupation of land in the area. That's why we're here. And there are other side issues that we're also discussing that are helpful, I guess. But the biggest question seems to be, why is the EFF advocating for people to commit unlawful acts? That doesn't concern me. The problem is that when people occupy land, in Alexandra specifically, we know that the outcome is never good for them. We have a very good example of what happened now recently with the Red Ants and this eviction and demolition, and more investigation will be done. But if you occupy municipal land, you will be evicted from that land. Eventually, sooner rather than later often. When you are evicted, this is according to what you as the EFF are saying now, the Red Ants come in, especially mass evictions. There are severe human rights violations. People lose their property, money that they've invested into building on this land. So there are severe legal consequences to occupying land. It's not as simple as if you see a piece of land occupied. What it should read is if you see a piece of land occupied, but note that in terms of Section 4 of the Prevention of Illegal Eviction Act, you may receive a notice, and so on and so forth. You may end up in the cold and be evicted probably in winter. These are severe consequences, and the allegations that we've received as the Commission is that we've got these people who are now unlawfully occupying land, regardless of your stance on whether it's constitutional or not, what the moral obligation of us